My beloved child, before you make a single assumption about what you are about to hear, stay with this story until the very end, because every moment will uncover another piece of a mystery that has remained hidden for years. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. At first, it may sound impossible, but every answer is connected to one forgotten decision, one unopened message, and one address that nobody expected to matter. What began as an ordinary morning became the beginning of an unforgettable journey. A sealed envelope arrived without a return address. There was no explanation, only a single sentence written across the front: "The truth has finally found its rightful owner." Curiosity replaced every other thought. Inside the envelope was an old photograph of a beautiful property surrounded by ancient trees, peaceful gardens, and a gate that looked as though it had not been opened for years. On the back of the photograph, someone had written, "This place has been waiting longer than you know. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you." The strange part was not the photograph. It was the second page hidden beneath it. There was an address, carefully handwritten, along with a note explaining that someone connected to your past had protected an incredible secret for many years. Every clue seemed to point toward a story of loyalty, sacrifice, and promises that had never been broken. Yet nothing explained why your name appeared where nobody expected it. Every answer only created another question. Why had nobody spoken about this place before? Why was the photograph preserved so carefully? And who wanted you to find it today instead of years ago? As the journey continued, more clues appeared in unexpected places. A faded map revealed markings that matched the photograph perfectly. A forgotten journal described a peaceful home where hope survived difficult seasons. Every page suggested that someone believed one special person would eventually arrive to continue a story that had never truly ended. The closer you looked, the more everything seemed connected through kindness, patience, and remarkable timing rather than coincidence. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you because the greatest discovery has not even appeared yet. The address itself looked ordinary on a map, but every person who had seen it before reacted with quiet surprise. They recognized the location immediately, not because it was famous, but because it carried an extraordinary history that few people knew completely. Long ago, someone had chosen that place as a symbol of hope instead of wealth. Every stone, every path, and every room represented memories that were carefully preserved for a future chapter nobody could predict. The photograph was never about a building alone. It was about a promise that refused to disappear. Questions continued to grow. Why had the photograph remained hidden? Why had the address been protected so carefully? And what would happen when the final page of the journal was finally opened? The answer was closer than anyone imagined, yet one final piece was still missing. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because the next discovery changes the meaning of everything that came before, and the photograph is only the beginning of a mystery that has yet to reveal its greatest secret. A quiet realization settled in as the final page of the journal slipped free from its place. It was not filled with legal language or impossible promises. Instead, it contained a carefully written message that transformed every clue into something far more meaningful. It explained that true inheritance is never measured only by buildings, land, or wealth. Sometimes the greatest legacy is the courage to continue a story that someone else protected for years. Yet one line stood out above everything else: the address is only the beginning. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The mystery has only become deeper. The photograph suddenly revealed a detail that had been overlooked before. In the corner of the image was a small wooden sign with faded lettering that could barely be read. After looking closely, one hidden word became visible. It matched a name that had appeared earlier inside the journal. That single connection changed everything. Every clue now pointed toward one remarkable destination where forgotten memories, unexpected friendships, and unanswered questions would finally meet. Nothing happened by accident. Every page had quietly prepared you for this moment. As the journey continued, another envelope appeared beneath the journal. This one contained a hand-drawn map instead of a letter. The roads looked familiar, but one path had been circled several times in bright ink. Why was that path so important? Why had someone wanted it to stand out more than everything else? Every answer only unlocked another layer of the mystery. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The most unforgettable discovery has not arrived yet. Then came the moment that nobody expected. Hidden inside the envelope was a second photograph taken years after the first. The same property appeared, but something had changed. A single window was glowing with warm light while every other room remained dark. Someone had visited that place long after the first picture had been taken. Someone had carefully preserved every detail. But who? And why had they never revealed themselves? The silence surrounding those questions became more powerful than any explanation. Every clue now carried the same message: look closer. The address was never important because it represented wealth. It mattered because it connected people, memories, and promises across generations. The property stood as a reminder that hope can survive long after people believe a story has ended. That realization changed the entire meaning of the photograph. Take a moment to imagine opening a gate that has remained closed for years. Imagine finding a peaceful garden exactly as it appeared in the photograph, untouched by time, quietly waiting for someone who would appreciate its history instead of its value. That possibility alone filled the journey with excitement unlike anything before. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The next discovery will reveal why the address was protected so carefully, why the photograph appeared at exactly the right moment, and why one final hidden message has remained unseen until now. Every clue has been leading toward a single unforgettable revelation, and the story is about to take its biggest turn yet. The closer you looked, the more impossible it became to ignore the pattern hidden in every clue. The map, the journal, the photographs, and the handwritten notes were not separate discoveries. They were pieces of one carefully protected story, waiting to be understood in the right order. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. What comes next changes the meaning of everything you have seen so far. As you compared the two photographs side by side, one tiny detail finally stood out. Near the entrance of the property was an old stone marker that appeared in both pictures. At first, it looked ordinary, but after examining it more closely, you noticed a symbol carved into the surface. The exact same symbol appeared on the final page of the journal. It was no coincidence. Someone had intentionally left a trail that could only be followed by someone willing to pay attention to the smallest details. Every clue whispered the same message: you are closer than you realize. The address suddenly felt different. It was no longer just a location. It had become the center of an incredible mystery. Every road leading there seemed connected to a decision made years before, and every page of the journal hinted that the final discovery would answer questions nobody had even thought to ask. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The biggest surprise has not appeared yet. Another folded page slipped from between the journal's cover. Unlike the others, it contained no explanation. Instead, it listed several dates, each carefully circled in blue ink. One date matched the day the first photograph had been taken. Another matched the day the second photograph was captured. The final date had no description at all. It was left completely blank, almost as if someone expected another chapter to be written in the future. That blank space created more suspense than any written sentence ever could. Then something remarkable happened. Looking closely at the back of the second photograph, you noticed faint writing that had almost disappeared with time. After reading it carefully, one sentence became clear: every promise finds its moment. Those 5 words echoed through every clue you had already discovered. They connected the property, the address, the journal, and the mysterious photographs into one unforgettable story about patience, hope, and perfect timing. Imagine standing outside the gate shown in the photograph. The air is calm. The path ahead is quiet. Nothing seems unusual at first, yet every step feels as though it brings you closer to an answer that has been waiting for years. The mystery is no longer about what the property is worth. It is about why it was preserved so carefully and why every clue has led to this exact place. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. One final compartment inside the journal has still not been opened. Hidden beneath its cover is a message that no one has read in years, and that message will reveal why the address became the heart of this extraordinary journey. Every mystery has been building toward that single moment, and the next chapter will uncover the final clue that ties every photograph, every page, and every promise together. The hidden compartment finally opened with a quiet click, revealing one last envelope that had remained untouched for years. It was lighter than expected, yet it carried the greatest mystery of all. Inside was not a deed, not a contract, and not a confirmation of ownership. Instead, there was a handwritten letter explaining that the true purpose of the address was never to surprise someone with riches, but to bring the right person to a place where an unforgettable story could finally be understood. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The final revelation is closer than ever. Behind the letter rested one final photograph that nobody had seen before. Unlike the earlier pictures, this one was taken from the front gate looking toward the house. The morning sunlight illuminated every path, every tree, and every window. But one detail immediately captured your attention. A small wooden plaque stood beside the entrance with a message carved into it: "Every meaningful journey begins with one brave step." Suddenly, every clue from the journal, every photograph, and every note fit together perfectly. The mystery had never been about claiming a property. It had always been about discovering why this place had been preserved with such care. The address no longer felt mysterious because it promised something impossible. It felt extraordinary because it represented hope, patience, and a story that had quietly waited for someone willing to uncover it one clue at a time. Every photograph became a reminder that some stories are worth protecting until the perfect moment arrives. Every page of the journal proved that the smallest details can lead to the greatest discoveries. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. One final piece remains. Looking closely at the edge of the last photograph, you notice faint coordinates written in tiny handwriting. They do not point toward hidden treasure. They point toward a peaceful overlook where the entire property can be seen at once. Standing there, the view explains everything. The winding paths, the gardens, the old stone marker, and the welcoming entrance all form one complete picture. What once looked like unrelated clues now reveal a carefully preserved legacy of memories, kindness, and enduring hope. As the story reaches its final moments, you realize that the greatest surprise was never the address itself. It was the journey required to understand why it mattered. Every clue encouraged patience. Every mystery rewarded careful attention. Every photograph reminded you that remarkable stories are built one page at a time rather than discovered all at once. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because the greatest takeaway is not found inside an envelope or behind a hidden compartment. It is the realization that every meaningful destination begins with curiosity, every unforgettable discovery begins with a single clue, and every extraordinary story is remembered because someone chose to follow it all the way to the end. Just when it seemed every mystery had been solved, one final discovery changed the entire story once again. Tucked inside the back cover of the journal was a folded sheet that nobody had noticed before. It was aged, carefully preserved, and sealed with a small emblem that matched the symbol carved into the stone marker from the earlier photographs. The seal had never been broken. As you slowly opened it, you realized this was the final piece that connected every clue. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The journey is about to reveal its most unforgettable chapter. The letter began with a simple sentence. If you are reading this, you have followed the path with patience. There were no unbelievable claims, no promises of instant fortune, and no impossible declarations. Instead, the writer explained that the greatest treasures are often the stories, memories, and values that survive across generations. The property shown in the photographs had become a symbol of those memories, a place where kindness, resilience, and hope had been carefully preserved for the future. Suddenly, every photograph became more meaningful than before. As you compared every image one last time, another remarkable detail appeared. Each photograph had been taken from a slightly different angle. When placed together, they formed a complete panorama of the estate and the surrounding landscape. What once seemed like separate pictures now revealed one breathtaking view. It was as though every clue had been waiting for the others before revealing its full meaning. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The final surprise is not what you expect. You walked through the story one last time in your mind. The mysterious envelope. The faded journal. The hidden map. The carved stone. The handwritten notes. The quiet garden. The glowing window. Every clue pointed toward one simple truth: meaningful discoveries are earned through patience, curiosity, and careful attention. Nothing had been rushed. Nothing had been accidental. Every page invited you to slow down and notice what others might have overlooked. Then you noticed something almost invisible on the edge of the last photograph. It was a handwritten phrase so faint it could easily have been missed: "Every ending is the beginning of another journey." That single sentence transformed the entire experience. The story was never about reaching one destination. It was about becoming the kind of person who keeps searching for truth, hope, and purpose, even when the answers are hidden beneath ordinary moments. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The greatest revelation is not hidden behind a locked door or inside an unopened envelope. It is the realization that every clue has prepared you to see the bigger picture. What first appeared to be a mystery about an address became a journey about perspective, perseverance, and discovering value where others only saw ordinary details. As the final page closed, the photographs, journal, and map no longer felt like separate objects. Together, they told one complete story that would be remembered long after the mystery ended. Some stories capture attention for a moment. Others remain in your heart because every clue leads to something deeper. This was one of those stories, and its greatest message will stay with anyone who followed every step from the very beginning to the very end. The silence that followed the final page felt different. It was no longer the silence of uncertainty. It was the silence that comes just before an extraordinary realization. As you carefully placed the journal beside the photographs, one final folded card slipped onto the table. No one had mentioned it before. No clue had pointed directly to it. It had remained hidden until every other piece of the story had been understood. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The last secret is about to bring every chapter together. The front of the card contained only a single sentence: "Some places are remembered because of what they hold. Others are remembered because of the lives they inspire." As you opened it, you discovered a beautifully drawn illustration of the same property, but this time it was surrounded by people smiling, sharing stories, and creating memories together. Suddenly, the photographs were no longer simply images of a location. They became symbols of hope, belonging, and new beginnings. Every clue had quietly guided you toward this understanding without revealing it too early. The address itself now carried a completely different meaning. It represented a destination where every lesson from the journey came together. The winding pathway shown in the pictures no longer seemed mysterious. It felt welcoming. The quiet garden no longer seemed abandoned. It felt alive with history. The old wooden gate no longer appeared closed. It seemed ready to welcome the next chapter. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. One final discovery is still hidden in plain sight. As you looked at the original photograph once more, sunlight reflected across one corner of the image, revealing a detail that had never been visible before. There, almost invisible beneath the edge of the frame, was a small compass symbol pointing toward the sunrise. It was not directing anyone toward hidden treasure. It was reminding every reader that every meaningful journey begins by moving forward with courage instead of fear. That simple symbol transformed every previous clue into something much greater than a mystery. For a moment, imagine standing at the entrance shown in the photograph. The morning breeze moves gently through the trees. The pathway stretches ahead, peaceful and inviting. Every step reminds you that remarkable stories are not remembered because of impossible events, but because ordinary moments become unforgettable when they are filled with purpose. Every page of the journal had been preparing you to recognize that truth. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The final message inside the journal explains why every clue was hidden instead of handed over immediately. It says that true discoveries are valuable because they are earned through patience, observation, and persistence. Anyone can glance at a photograph. Only someone willing to follow every clue can truly understand its meaning. As the story reaches its conclusion, you realize that the greatest surprise was never the address itself. It was the journey that changed the way you looked at every clue along the way. The photographs, the handwritten notes, the map, and the journal all pointed toward one timeless idea: the greatest destinations are not defined by what they contain, but by the memories, hope, and purpose they inspire. And as the final page quietly closes, one feeling remains stronger than ever. That some mysteries are unforgettable not because they promise the impossible, but because they remind us that every meaningful journey begins with a single step and ends with a story worth remembering forever.